Hey there, in this video I'm going to show you how to upload your first notebook, planner, journal, whatever it might be, to the KDP Kindle Direct Publishing platform. So when you log in, you create your account, this is the dashboard you are going to get to. This is called your bookshelf where you can see all of your books. Now, you'll notice you have a Kindle ebook option and a paperback option here. We are working with paperbacks. I've never even uploaded an ebook to Kindle. So go ahead and select the paperback option, and you will get taken to this screen here. Now, this is where you put in all of your book details, all of your keywords, your title, and all of that. So let's go ahead and run through here. So start off with your book title. This is what your cover is going to actually say. So I have this example here pulled up in Photoshop. I'm not actually making this book go live. This is just for example purposes, but it says One Amazing Nurse. So our book title has to be One Amazing Nurse. Nothing less, nothing more. You cannot put notebook here. You cannot put journal here. You can't put planner there, nothing. That is all it can be. Your book title has to match exactly what your book says. Now, if you wanted to put notebook on there, you could add text underneath the text layer here, and you could put notebook underneath, or you could take it and put your text on in the bottom right hand corner here and put notebook and turn it to a color that just kind of blends in a little. You could shrink it down to make it real small. And then at this point, you could have notebook on your actual title space here. So then if we changed it and put notebook in the bottom right hand corner here, we now could put notebook here. But understand, your book title has to match exactly what your cover, spine, whatever says. So if your book title says, I love horseback riding, that is exactly what your book title has to say. So now subtitle, your subtitle does not match your book title. Okay, your subtitle is going to be something you make up that is relevant to your book. Keep it very, very simple. Remember, anything over 60 characters looks spammy. That is coming directly from KDP and Amazon. I personally do very, very little in my subtitle. I try to keep it very clean and straight to the point. So if we are doing a planner here, I will literally put cute planner for nurses. And I will keep it very, very simple here. No need to put, cute planner for nurses who work in the emergency room and work night shift. Okay, there's no point in doing that. It really just spams up the platform and how everything looks on the platform. So with that being said, book title has to match exactly what your cover says. Okay, if you do not have any words on your title, so you just want to use a picture like so, we'll just go ahead and expand this out here. It's a little blurry. It's not proportioned correctly. That's not the point of this video, though. So if you say, this is what I want my book cover to look like, what do I do for a title because there's no words on it? Well, you have to have words on it somewhere, whether it be on the spine, which will be right here. So you could take text and write, I love flowers, okay? And then you could convert this, and let's go ahead and change this to -90 here. And then you could put this on the spine like so, so you have words, or you could simply, let's take this back. You could put flower notebook. And again, you could put it real small down here at the bottom so it kind of blends in. You have to have some type of words on there. Otherwise, you won't have a title. There is no way to create a book title without words. So your book title has to match exactly what your cover or spine says. Your subtitle, keep it very simple and relevant to what you are selling. Moving on, series number. I don't mess with series. Maybe later on, once, if I have some activity books, planners, or wedding planners of some sort that do really well, I'll make a second series or a part 2 in a series of this. But series, I don't really worry about it. Most of the things I do will not turn into a series. Same thing with edition number. If I do a coloring book, I might do a volume 2 or a version 1.5 or whatever it might be. That's what series edition number is for. Next, author name. Create a pen name here that is easy to remember, that you can easily create and nobody else is using it. Okay, so for example, I like using a color and then a word. I don't put, red notebook here. I will create an actual brand name that sounds more like a brand rather than somebody's name. And I'll sort it by color. So red, I know it's all of my career stuff. Blue is all of my sports things. 3 is all hobbies. And I dissect it that way. So for this one, we will just do red. I don't know here. Let's see, River Media. Okay, we'll just do red, and we can actually put River in the first name and then media here. It doesn't matter. This is not my actual brand name. If you search this, you'll never find anything unless someone else is using this author pen name. You can have as many pen names as you would like. Let me make that clear. Also, do not start keyword spamming your authors, okay? Lastly, do make sure that nobody else is using your pen name that you want to build out on Amazon, because that can cause issues later down the line. Now, description. I keep my description very simple. I use a HTML text editor online to make some words bold and everything. For this example, I'm just going to keep it very, very simple. I'm going to use some bullet points here to say exactly what I'm selling. So this is going to be a 6x9 planner for nurses, and then it's going to be 120 page count, and then it'll say, let's say, paperback cover. Okay, and then up above I will add in something like, grab this amazing planner for a nurse you care for, makes a perfect birthday or Christmas gift for yourself, co-workers, or other nurses. Okay, so I just keep this very simple, and then I would open up an HTML editor and actually turn all of this bold and then paste it in. Publishing rights. Do you own the copyright for this? Yes, hopefully you do. If not, you should not be publishing it if you don't own the necessary publishing rights. So I own the paperback necessary, or I own the copyright. I created this design. I have the rights and license to the graphics and fonts I'm using. Next, keywords. So this is going to be where you enter all of your keywords. You do not need to repeat keywords. You do not need to use any punctuation, so you don't need to use commas. You don't need to use periods. You don't need to use exclamation or question marks, okay? You also do not need to use the plural version of a word. So if you have notebooks in here, and then later on you want to put notebook, you have no need to do that unless it is an exact phrase you are wanting to use and rank for. But in the keywords galore section of the workshop, you will find all of the keywords. We do a rundown on keywords, how to find them, and a whole bunch of other things within. So I'm not going to cover this too heavily here. So this is where you enter your keywords. Next is categories. Now, this can be a very confusing topic for a lot of people. They're like, well, I don't know where to put my books. My biggest suggestion is going to be, look through some of these categories before you start entering a niche. Excuse me here. So with that being said, you will want to put your books into a category related and or relevant to your niche. So if you're going after nursing things, there's going to be medical fields in here. If you are going to go into, children's coloring books, there's going to be areas for activity books and coloring books. There's literally a ton of categories here. My biggest suggestion, spend the next 20-30 minutes and just look through some of these. There's also online tools that I will show you here in another video that allows you to type in a keyword, type in your niche, type in your market, and it will show you all of the categories related to said word that you type in. And I'll show a video of that. Okay, but for this, I'm going to choose non-classifiable, and then I will also go into nonfiction here. And I didn't even look. So here's medical. And then there's going to be a ton of different medical things here. You can see nursing at this point. There's general, all of the different types of nursing. You could do this as a reference. You could do this as, let's see, I saw another one here. General, I will probably put this under general for now, just as this example. But as you just saw, within 20 seconds here, I found the nursing category, and you can see all of the different possibilities within just the nursing category here. So we're going to go ahead and click save. Adult content. Now, does this book have adult content? No, it does not. So we're going to go ahead and select no. If you want to do adult content, those would fall under things like nudity, very, very vulgar things. For example, one of the first books I ever did said shit I can't remember. That was not considered adult content. So if you want to do adult content and you're worried about, do I need to check adult content? Do I not need to check adult content? Just email them in and ask them. It has to be pretty bad, has to be nudity, things of those sorts to be considered adult content. So from here, we will save and continue. Next is the second page here. Excuse me once again. And we have to set our ISBN. So think of an ISBN kind of like a serial code. You can actually see what is an ISBN. It's the International Standard Book Number. So it's kind of like a serial number or a SKU number, if you think, and that sorts of things, if you know what those are. But this is just for books. So it's a 13-digit slash 10-digit thing. So we will go ahead and hit assign me a free ISBN. And now you can see we have an ISBN number here. It will be ours forever. Next is going to be if you want to select a publication date for when it's first available. I have absolutely never even done this. I've never even looked at this. When I publish a book, it's going live the moment I'm done with it and it goes through a review. Next, black and white interior with cream paper, black and white interior with white paper, colored interior. Now, this is going to be more of a preference thing. For journals and writing for more of the adult niches, I prefer cream. It's not as bright. It's not as harsh on the eyes. Both of the papers are very nice. But for more kids thing, coloring books, sketchbooks, blank comic books, things of those sorts, I will select white paper because if you start coloring on cream paper, you start drawing a comic book on cream paper, then your colors aren't going to show up correctly, and that could then lead to bad reviews. So cream paper, white paper, it's more of a preference. I would suggest ordering one of each if you can, so you can kind of get an idea of which you like more. Now, if you are uploading, you get to the pricing page, which you will see here in a moment, and it's telling you have to price it like $14. Understand that you accidentally selected color interior, okay? Make sure you always select one of these unless you want to do a color interior, at which point it will cost you a lot of money. You will have to price very high to make any type of profit. So for this one, we're going to select cream paper. Next is going to be your trim size. So come in here. I have 6x9 as that is what I upload most of the time. So you can set anything here. You can define your own size, but we're just going to stick with 6x9. That's what I know. That's what I do probably about 90-95% of the time. Next is your bleed setting. So setting your interior to bleed allows printing at or off the edge of a page. So if you think of a line here, and I can pull up an example of this for us here. So with bleed, a lot of people have issues with this. So if we see this line, it goes near and then past the edge. So if your lines come close to the edge / go past the edge of the paper, you will need to select bleed. So for this example, we obviously need to select bleed. Now, paperback cover finish is going to be very similar to the interior paper. It's kind of what would you like to do? It kind of also goes by niche. So a lot of the kid things I do glossy. It kind of makes it pop more. Some of the more adult type of content I put up, it will go matte. So everything I have up in the coworker space and the coworker niche is all considered matte for me. I really like the feel of it. But again, this is a personal preference. Next is going to be your manuscript here, and this is actually going to be the interior. So I just showed you guys the interior that we are using, so I'm going to select that, and it is right here, as you can see, interior file. So we're going to go ahead and click open, and it will upload. Next is going to be your book cover, and you can use the book cover creator here, and I'll go ahead and launch this for you to see it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I really do not like it. I've spent very, very little time on it, but it's going to be a place that you can create covers, but I prefer to use Photoshop. I prefer to use BookBolt. There's a lot simpler of options out there. So this is the cover creator. You can come in here, dive into it if you would like. Just understand there's other resources, other options out there. So now our interior file is processing, we will want to select upload a cover you already have. So this cover here that we had, I'm going to upload this. So we're going to select upload your cover file. Right here it is. We are going to click open. And now this one will also upload. And then once this is uploading, both of them will go to the processing stage. So let this load here and you will see it will say processing your file. Now, this is not the last step. You now have to launch the previewer like so. We are actually not going to click that yet though, because it was just going to sit there and spin and spin and spin. So I always wait for these to say finished. So once these files are done uploading and the processing phase is complete, I will go ahead and launch the previewer. So while these are loading, I will say I normally upload 50 to 75 or more at a time. I do not go into upload one by one unless I'm testing a new interior. Because if you work on each stage as you go through and you have 50 tabs open and you do the title on all 50 tabs and then you do the subtitle on all 50 tabs and then you do your author name on all 50 tabs and then keywords on all 50 tabs and all the way through, and then you upload your manuscript on all 50 tabs, and then lastly you upload your book cover on all 50 tabs or 100 tabs at a time. By the time you reach that 50th tab uploading your last cover, the beginning ones will start to be done. So there is really no wait time. So the only time I ever upload one by one is going to be when I am testing a new interior. But luckily, I've already done this before here. So for this example, I can actually just go ahead and launch Previewer. You can see upload successful, upload successfully. So we are not waiting a few minutes for this to finish up. So from here, I did not mean to click that. We will go ahead and launch Previewer. And then once this loads, you'll see a book previewer. So at this point, we have our book previewer up. We can go through as many pages here as we would like. This just allows you to see all of your pages. You can zoom in on everything. They'll give you some reminders of what to check, make sure everything is good. So from this point, you can see these are still processing. So luckily I did have this one up. We are going to go ahead and click approve. And now we return to the page we were just on. What we need to do from here is scroll down, click save and continue. And once this saves, we will be taken to the pricing side of things. So we are going to sell in all territories. We aren't going to necessarily do individual territories. We're just going to do all territories here. And you can see we will type in $6.99 here, which is going to be my list price. My royalty on this book will be $1.90. It is a 6x9, 120 page count paper. We will also go ahead and drop this menu down. So you can see you automatically get placed in all of these other marketplaces without doing anything at all. So what we'll do here is we will talk expanded distribution for a second. I always check this. There's really no need not to. This will allow bookstores, libraries, and all kinds of other resources to purchase your books at a discounted rate. The complaint I always see is, well, I only make 51 cents a book. Well, these people that have the rights to buy it at an expanded distribution rate, they're going to either buy yours if you have it selected, or they're going to go buy someone else's. They are never going to come in and pay the $6.99 price. So without selecting this, you are not going to ever get expanded distribution sales, and you might be missing out. Whether it be one sale a month or 1,000 sales a month, it is still additional sales that you can be receiving. So from this point, we are done. This is the entire upload process. You can see it auto converts to the different currencies based on the market. But from this point, we would just click publish your paperback book. I'm not actually going to click publish because this is just a sample for this video. But once you click your paperback book, publish your paperback book, then it'll go into review. KDP will review it. If there's no issues, it goes live. If you do have any issues of any sorts, they will email you and tell you what your issues are. The biggest issue you will probably have starting out is going to be your title, because if you add any extra words to your title that is not on your cover or spine of the book, you are going to get rejected. So keep that in mind. You are not able to slip in an extra word into your title space if it is not on your title or spine. But anyways, this is the upload process. If you have any questions, please drop a message in the Facebook group to me, or post it in the group, I should say. Anyways, thank you for tuning in, and keep diving into all of the videos.